Morning everyone, on this bright and sunny Tuesday morning. Sorry about the jittery camera. There's my phone on the windscreen there, it's all a bit bumpy on this road. So, last video, hope you enjoyed that, guys. I was quite busy actually on that day. There was a few people turned up, and quite a few people, believe it or not, because of the gazebo, they sort of knew who we were. They came over for a chat, so I spent most of the day either chatting to people or driving the car. Fantastic day, absolutely loved it. Can't wait to get to Thruxton. So later on in this video, I'm going to get back to the workshop and just have a little chat about the Kitcar. I've got a couple of potential changes that we want to make to that car. The more we drive it, Isaac and I, the more we love it. It's a perfect track car, hopefully, and now we're sort of getting used to it. The weather has been fairly kind to us on the last track day, but we're hoping that those waterproofs do the job if it rains. What we have got to do is get some wet tyres on a set of wheels and take those with us, because if it does rain, we're going to be in trouble on those AAA-Rs. The tyres that we took off from before were pretty new. They were 8008Rs or something like that, whatever they are, Yokohamas, and they're meant to be pretty good in the wet. I don't know whether any of you guys watching have had any experience with them tyres in the wet, and what sort of pressures to run. But we're thinking, because they're nearly new, get them on a set of wheels, take them with us, and then we've got both options, haven't we? So yeah, we'll get back to the workshop in a bit and sort of explain any potential changes we may want to make to that car, but we are absolutely loving that little thing. So yeah, thanks very much, guys, for coming over and saying hello, especially you who took the time to come from wherever you were, just especially to come over and say hello to us. And yeah, it was a really enjoyable day. So I've just been to Ilfracombe to take the kids to my sister-in-law's. She's having them for the day. My wife has got she's got a course in Exeter for 3 days, so I'm doing everything, running 2 YouTube channels, a business, and 3 kids at the minute. Who says a bloke can't multitask, eh? So yeah, pretty busy at the moment. There's no real update on the E30 at the minute, because Mikey wasn't very well last week. He had a T4 transporter that he had to get out the door, which he's gone now apparently. I think he's got a couple of little jobs to do. Now he's a bit better this week, and then he may be cracking on with the E30. I'm not going to pester him about that. I have had an email this morning saying that from the, I think it's the director of the company that's supplying our fuel system, and they are going to be giving us a little update on when we're going to be getting that. It should be, he did email me 2 weeks ago saying it would be a couple of weeks, so it should be any time soon. So really looking forward to seeing that product. But yeah, that's it really on the E30 at the moment, guys, unfortunately. Obviously we're very excited about getting it done, because now we're doing more track days. We've got Thruxton towards the end of the month, but at the middle of next month we are going to be booking Alton Park, so really looking forward to that, because obviously when I did the Superbikes a few years ago, we've been to Alton a few times, and that's probably one of my favourites, most scenic tracks. Love it. So can't wait to get there. But yeah, I think Joe really enjoyed himself. I know in the last video we sort of made a mockery of the reliability of the car, but to be honest with you, Joe really enjoyed himself. Obviously when he goes to these race meets, when he does the modified Ford series, he usually goes on his own. It's fairly serious. He gets very nervous because obviously there's some real sort of quick cars out there, and he's had, like I said to you, he's had his stroke of bad luck with the car, but the car seems to be really good now. And in fairness, when he got out on track in the last video, although we didn't get any footage of him, he was the quickest thing out there by far. But he really enjoyed himself, and he said, to be honest with you, it's probably the most fun he's had on a track, or on a day like that for quite some time, so he's well keen to do some more track days with us. You know, it's not all about the competing at the end of the day, it's about the sort of just the time away with the lads and having a laugh and have a drash around in your car, isn't it? So that's, sometimes you've got to sort of get a bit grounded and think what is what you're doing actually enjoyable, because that's what it's meant to be. So yeah, Joe's really keen. He's going to be booking Alton as well. I don't think he's going to be going to Thruxton, although he did book it, because he's a bit worried about the noise level. We have got Tom Upton. He's going to have the car next week, and he has made a big long silencer for the Kitcar, so that should get us under that 90 decibel limit for Thruxton. And to be honest, it'd just be a bit nicer if it was quiet. So yeah, that's what we got going on with that. But let's get back to the workshop, guys, and I'll explain what we want to do with that Kitcar. So just sitting down here at my 10:30 break for 10 minutes, just looking out the door. Nice little bit of breeze coming in, sitting in my deck chair, and I was just thinking, do you know what's good about being in your 40s compared to being in your 20s and 30s? Is when you have a hand-me-down lunchbox like that from the kids, you really do not give two hoots about it. And that's what I like about being in my 40s. But anyway, guys, great news. We've got the little van back. So the damage on the side, it was all been done. So we had to have a new door, apparently. There was a dent and what have you in here, so they've repaired that and painted all that. Obviously the signs come off the side of it, but that is all tickety-boo now. At the back, because these doors are sort of, don't know what they'd call that, not symmetrical or one bigger than the other. John has shut the big door before the little door in the past, and there was a bit of a dent here, so they've done that sort of inclusive in it for us. So thank you very much, Chris and Jamie. So really pleased with that, but we're not going to be putting the same sign back on. We're going to be incorporating our new design onto the side and the back of this van, and maybe on the front, our little logo going on there. So I've had a word with Sam at Tintin Express, and he's going to be doing this van shortly, along with the Kitcar and the big van. So we're going to be changing our design completely there. So yeah, should look pretty smart. But the Kitcar, guys, so first things first, obviously when we get back, that's the reason we leave the back off here, so we can have a good inspection of the back, make sure that everything's good. And obviously we've been on a couple of track days now, and nothing, touch wood, fingers crossed, it all stays like it, but nothing seems to be broken. So all this strengthening and what have you that's been done seems to be working and holding up. Another good thing, guys, is the diff is not leaking anymore. There's no sign of any oil on the workshop floor or the trailer, which is a good thing. We seem to have a little bit of a leak still from the front cover on one of the engines. On the engine and one of the front covers, but so we should probably do that. But yeah, all in all, really happy with the Kitcar. But the only thing we're not happy with is, to be honest with you, it's on these track days that we do, especially with gold tracks where they have some really nice stuff, we're a little bit slow, to be honest with you, compared to everything else. So we're sort of thinking, do we go for a bigger engine? Do we go for a faster engine? We don't like to chuck money where unnecessary, and obviously, you know, you can always go faster, can't you? We don't want you to think that it's a case of we just want to keep going faster with it. But it gets to about 80 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour, and as you can see by the videos in the onboard videos in the last video, it does hold back a little bit. It is a little bit slow, and it's not so bad in the dry, but on that, the visibility from the mirrors is not great, and I'm a little bit paranoid that stuff's going to come up the inside of me fairly sharpish. So we need something that just goes at maybe sort of 20-25 mile an hour faster on the straights, just to keep up with the traffic there, because like you've seen, there's some really nice fast stuff there. So that's all we want to do. I have looked at things like the modern ZX10 engines, which are 180 to 200 horsepower sort of thing. But obviously we don't want to chuck money where unnecessary. Now, the guy that I bought the BMW engine off for the E30, guy called Peter Dent, he's over in Jersey or Guernsey, one of the two, and he's messaged me saying that he's got a Blackbird engine, so that's an 1100 CBR as opposed to the 900, about 165 horsepower, something like that. So I don't know whether any of you guys have had any experience with them engines. I don't know whether they're any good, but looking at the figures of that motor, that would probably be all we need, really. It's probably another 35 horsepower, about another 20 foot-pound of torque. So my feeling is it should be, and the revs are about the same as that, sort of up to about 9.5, 10 grand. That's all we seem to rev it at. So we'd be really happy with that. So he said that in exchange with some work, he would pay us with that engine and all the necessary running gear. So we might take him up on that. He said he's going to come over in October. So let me know what you think about that, guys, down in the comments. But it does seem like an option. But everything else on the car, can't fault it. Absolutely love it. The only thing we're probably going to do with it is get probably another set of 15-inch wheels and use the 8008 R's upstairs, which look like they're pretty good in the wet, or could be pretty good in the wet, and use those as a wet tyre so we can take them with us, because them things are going to be a little bit iffy in the wet. But yeah, apart from that, guys, really happy with that Kitcar, and cannot wait till Thruxton to get out in it again, to be honest. Look at that bloody bird's nest of wires there. So that's the wiring loom there for the E30. We've got a box of window seals. Now, I'm really struggling with window seals. I'm going to go through this lot. A lot of it might clean up all right, but I'm really struggling at the minute getting new window seals for this thing. So externally on this BMW, that's probably pretty much all I'm looking for now. I've got a couple of people that are in the know looking out for me, but yeah, struggling a little bit on that, guys. But yeah, we've got certainly got some cleaning up to do on this E30. Gearbox there, looks like it may have a bit of an oil leak, so put new seal in the back, clean that up. Still got plenty to do on it. Now, you're probably thinking from the last video, what is the deal with the motorhome that you went to look at? Obviously, with the Kitcar and doing the E30, and then going to look at motorhomes, you're probably thinking, Christ alive, where the hell's all this money coming from? So, like I said on that video, Ray, my father-in-law, has been looking for a motorhome for quite a while. The only reason he hasn't, I think, is because his missus ain't too keen on going away. He loves coming on these track days. Obviously, next year we want to do some shows, go to some events like maybe Goodwood and all this, and obviously take you guys with us. That's the idea of the second channel, really, like our track days and all that as well. So we were basically thinking about maybe going Arvers, something like that. The idea of the motorhome, or an advantage, would be it doesn't really matter where we go, we can just stay in the motorhome rather than keep booking hotels. Obviously, the trouble is with hotels, it's not only the cost, but because we have to take the rig with us, obviously with the trailer and the van and all that, we have to find somewhere to put it. So really, if we were going to continue to do that, we'd need an enclosed trailer, which is another expense, and all the rest of it. So I don't know, it's just an option, guys, and we're trying to, because of this second channel, we're trying to just throw ideas out there, and we're hoping you lot will sort of advise us in the comments what you think we should do and what would be a good idea for the channel, etc. But then the only thing is, there is the cost of it. Now, like a lot of people, the interest rate's going up and all the rest of it. My mortgage is up for renewal in a couple of years, and with the interest rates as they are at the moment, that's going to go up quite considerably. I'm sure, you know, like shopping bills have gone up, electricity bills, same with the business, it's all going up. So it's okay having these channels. We get a bit of revenue from the channels, obviously, and the channel's a great way of advertising for us, for bringing work into the company. But we have to be careful. We've got to sort of speculate, and at this stage, I'm trying to just see if I can see down the road 2 or 3 years on what's potentially going to happen. I mean, I've been watching some big YouTube channels in the, the automotive ones, like Daily Driven Exotics and Shmi 150 and Matt Armstrong and that. Matt not so much, because he sort of seems to have got in the algorithm quite well. But some of them are suffering, and you notice that some of these guys obviously have got these cars on finance and that. They are selling a few cars, and Daily Driven Exotics have admitted that they're in a bit of financial poop at the moment. So it does make you a little bit nervous. Don't want to go crazy and start getting stuff on tick, or buying stuff that is a bit unnecessary and it's gonna make us suffer down the road. So yeah, as I say, we're all feeling the pinch at the moment, guys. So let us know down in the comments what you reckon we should do. But obviously we need to do some stuff to keep decent content on the channel. So yeah, it's one of those really. It's a difficult one to foresee the future. That's it for today, guys, unfortunately. So until the next video, go over to our main channel. The link, if you haven't already, I know a lot of guys have come over from our main channel into the second channel, but if you haven't, you see the link in the description below. Just go on that channel and feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. But yeah, until then, guys, thanks ever so much.